Is feline revenge myth or reality? The truth revealed by animal psychologists. Welcome, fellow pet enthusiasts and curious minds, to a deep exploration of the intricate inner world of our feline companions. For generations, cat owners worldwide have shared stories of what appears to be calculated, cold-blooded retaliation from their pets. You return home after a long weekend away, or perhaps you reprimand your cat for scratching the sofa, only to discover an unpleasant surprise directly on your bed, a ruined pair of shoes, or a favorite carpet systematically destroyed. It feels intensely personal, deliberate, and undeniably vindictive, leaving many to wonder if their beloved animal harbors a dark, resentful streak. Today, we will dismantle these deeply ingrained human assumptions by looking at the situation through the precise, empathetic lens of modern veterinary science and animal behaviorism. By stepping away from our natural tendency to view animal actions through a human mirror, we can begin to uncover the true, fascinating, and often heartbreaking reasons behind these extreme behaviors, transforming the way you understand and communicate with your pet. To truly comprehend what is happening inside a cat's mind during these stressful episodes, we must first look at the hard biological realities of their evolutionary design. Unlike humans or highly social pack animals like dogs, domestic cats evolved from solitary wild predators who had to rely entirely on themselves for survival in a hostile environment. In the wild, expressing complex moral emotions such as spite, malice, or long-term political vengeance serves absolutely no evolutionary purpose and would actually waste vital energy needed for hunting and self-defense. A cat's brain is highly sophisticated, but its neural architecture is wired primarily for immediate survival, territory preservation, and threat mitigation rather than abstract moral concepts of right and wrong. When a cat acts out in a way that looks like revenge to us, they are actually responding to a profound, immediate shift in their environment that has triggered their deeply primal survival instincts. They are not plotting your emotional downfall. They are simply trying to navigate a world that suddenly feels unsafe, unpredictable, or completely overwhelming to their finely tuned, ancient sensory systems. The core psychological mistake we make as human owners is a cognitive bias known as anthropomorphism, which is our natural habit of projecting human emotions, motivations, and moral frameworks onto non-human entities. When a person feels insulted, abandoned, or unappreciated, they might deliberately plan a retaliatory action to teach the other party a lesson or even the score. Because we live in a world governed by social contracts and emotional reciprocity, we mistakenly assume our cats are playing by the exact same rules when they exhibit shocking behaviors. In reality, animal psychologists have proven that cats completely lack the cognitive capacity for malice or spiteful premeditation. They do not possess a concept of moral retribution. When you perceive a cat's action as a calculated insult, you are misinterpreting a profound physiological cry for help as an act of war, which unfortunately creates a dangerous barrier to solving the actual root issue. By letting go of the false narrative that your cat is actively trying to hurt your feelings, you can begin to see their behavioral changes for what they truly are, an honest, unfiltered reflection of their internal emotional state. If what we see is not revenge, then what is the true scientific explanation behind a cat suddenly urinating on an owner's personal belongings or destroying their favorite items? The answer lies in the fascinating concept of maternal scent merging and the severe psychological impact of environmental stress or separation anxiety. When an owner leaves the house for an extended period, changes their daily work schedule, or brings a new person or pet into the home, the cat's highly sensitive territorial security is completely shattered. Your bed, your clothing, and your favorite armchair are the areas of the house that carry the most concentrated, comforting scent of the human protector. When a cat is pushed into a state of panic or profound emotional distress, they instinctively deposit their own biological markers, such as urine or feces, onto these specific scent zones. In the feline world, mixing their scent with yours is a desperate, self-soothing mechanism designed to create a familiar olfactory barrier against perceived threats, effectively making them feel safe again. It is an act of profound vulnerability and anxiety, a chaotic attempt to reconnect with you through smell, rather than a malicious statement of anger or spiteful rebellion. Let us look at a classic real-life scenario that animal psychologists encounter almost daily in their clinical practices, illustrating this heartbreaking miscommunication perfectly. Imagine an owner who textually describes returning home from an exhausting business trip, only to find that their cat has urinated precisely in the center of their clean, expensive mattress. The owner immediately feels betrayed, convinced that the cat is angry about being left alone and has chosen the most destructive way possible to punish them for their absence. However, a professional behavioral analysis reveals a completely different, much more empathetic reality. The cat experienced severe separation anxiety, felt abandoned, and watched its secure territory feel cold and empty for days. Drawn to the place that smelled most strongly of their missing human, the cat sought comfort on the bed, but the overwhelming wave of anxiety triggered an involuntary physical and psychological need to flood the area with its own scent to cope. In another common example, an owner yells at a cat for jumping on the kitchen counter, and minutes later the cat scratches a prized rug right in front of them. This is not a rebellious stance, but a sudden release of frantic displacement energy caused by fear. Understanding this dynamic is crucial because when owners misinterpret anxiety as revenge, they often default to anger, screaming, or physical punishment, which constitutes a form of psychological abuse. When you yell at a cat, rub their nose in a mess, or banish them to a dark room, the animal cannot connect your current aggressive behavior with something they did minutes or hours ago. All the cat experiences in that terrifying moment is that their primary caretaker, who is supposed to be their source of ultimate safety, has suddenly become unpredictable, dangerous, and hostile. This unwarranted aggression completely destroys the fragile bond of trust between pet and owner, sending the cat's stress levels into an even more dangerous, chaotic spiral. Chronic fear and elevated cortisol levels directly damage a cat's physical health, frequently leading to severe medical conditions like feline lower urinary tract disease, neurogenic cystitis, or dangerous intestinal blockages. Punishing a cat for a stress response is not only entirely ineffective from a training perspective, but it actively perpetuates the very cycle of anxiety that caused the problematic behavior in the first place. To break this destructive cycle and restore peace to your household, animal psychologists recommend a systematic, compassionate, and highly structured behavioral approach. The absolute first step in any sudden behavioral shift must always be a comprehensive visit to a veterinary professional to rule out underlying medical issues. Very often, a cat that avoids the litter box or acts out aggressively is suffering from an undetected urinary tract infection, painful arthritis, or internal discomfort, meaning the behavior is a direct symptom of physical agony. Once medical causes are completely ruled out, you must become a detective in your own home, carefully identifying the specific environmental triggers that are causing your cat to feel insecure. Look for recent changes such as a new brand of litter, moving furniture, construction noise outside, or a disruption in your daily interaction routine. By focusing your energy on identifying the source of their profound discomfort rather than reacting with personal offense, you can begin to systematically address the environmental flaws that are causing your cat's emotional distress. Ultimately, the key to a harmonious life with your feline companion lies in creating a highly predictable, enriched environment and offering unconditional emotional reassurance. Ensure your home features plenty of vertical spaces, such as cat trees and window perches, which allow them to survey their kingdom from a position of absolute safety. Maintain a strict, unchanging daily schedule for feeding, interactive playtime, and affection, as predictability is the ultimate antidote to feline anxiety and behavioral outbursts. If you must travel or alter your routine, introduce calming pheromone diffusers, leave pieces of your worn clothing in their favorite spots, and gradually acclimate them to changes. When you witness a behavioral mishap, take a deep breath, remind yourself that your cat is simply overwhelmed, and respond with quiet, structured guidance rather than explosive emotion. By shifting your mindset from accusation to deep empathy, you will not only eliminate the unwanted behaviors completely, but you will unlock a profound level of trust and mutual understanding with your pet that few owners ever get to truly experience.